did you like from this trailer?
Nothing, bro. I mean, you know what the main thing that like draws a fucking nerd, a comic book nerd, into a movie? It's the fucking bad guy, right? Who's the bad guy? Can you tell me who the bad guy?
A girl?
No. Most importantly, who the fuck is she?
Is a girl.
Yeah, who the? But in the comic books,
she's a strong woman, and she's a
yeah.
She's got a hammer, and she's better than you. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
That's my fucking argument right there.
All right, well, let me explain something to you. You ready to read? Let me. You ready to get into it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
This was a leak from a year ago.
Yeah.
I think it's been a year.
And they had a whole year to fix it, but they didn't.
Yeah. And this is exactly what the trailers are showing. So the bad guy, her name is Zalway Ashton, and she's actually Tom Hiddleston's real wife in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Her character in the series is called Dar-Ben.
Okay.
Dar-Ben. And she hates Carol Danvers because Carol Danvers destroyed the AI that ran fucking the Kree intelligence, and so the planet, because they're idiots, they relied on the computer to run their everyday life. Once the computer was dead, they couldn't do anything for themselves, and the planet got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And so she hates her, and and she's the leader of the Kree now. Or some little crazy part of the Kree, kind of like the way Ronan, he was Kree, and a lot of people followed him, but it wasn't like the whole empire. It was just like crazy people that followed him. Crazy people follow her.
Yeah.
So crazy people follow her, and she just wants to fucking she has a machine. She has a machine that she uses to take to like a planet and steal all their resources, their water, their air, their sun. Their energy from their sun, and then leaves. The machine will send it back so that they can restore their planet. And she gets the bangle, and we see it in the trailer.
Yeah.
She gets the bangle, and when she finds the bangle, she uses it to turn on the machine or some shit and get some power.
Yeah.
But the bangle does something to Kamala Khan, and since this is the excuse they're gonna use.
Okay.
Because they all have light powers.
Oh.
Kamala Khan can turn light into matter.
Mm-hmm.
Photon, which is the black girl, she can absorb light.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's black.
Yeah. And then Captain Marvel is basically fucking made out of it because she's like energy. And so it's light powers. And they're gonna say because all their powers are light based, and because the bangles are not combined or some ass like that, they all are interconnected. And every time one of them uses their powers, they switch places.
That's annoying.
Randomly.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who uses the power. If two of them are not using the powers and one of them uses it, they're going to switch. All of them. All three of them. Switch places. And so that's why in the trailer, that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, Carol Danvers, she's attending a peace conference between the Skrulls and the Kree.
Mm-hmm.
And Bardan interrupts, and there's not going to be no peace and shit. And all this fighting starts taking place. When the fighting starts taking place, because she uses her powers, she switches with Kamala Khan. And we saw that at the end of Kamala Khan's series. Remember? She all of a sudden switched in a room. Yeah. And so Kamala Khan will be switched into space.
Yeah.
And she'll be in space in an astronaut suit. And she's like, what's going on? Because that's where Monica Rambeau was. And Monica Rambeau will be switched to where Carol Danvers was fighting a bunch of fucking Krees. And she's like, what's going on? And then for like 15 minutes or 20 minutes of the movie, we're going to keep seeing them switch over and over and over again until they stop switching and they all meet up at Kamala Khan's house on Earth. There's going to be Kree soldiers in Kamala Khan's house attacking the parents. Abu, that rapist who sends dick pics to 14-year-old girls. It's true. It was in it. We talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
And the mom and the brother, and they're going to see Kree soldiers and all this shit. And eventually once they're all together and they figure out we can't use their powers unless we're right next to each other. Because if we're not next to each other, we're going to suddenly start switching. If we're right next to each other, our bodies won't switch because we're in the same proximity.
Yeah.
We got to stick together from here on till we figure out how to undo this. So they take the family to the space station with Nick Fury, and then the three girls take off to go fucking find Bardem because they want to stop her to see from destroying and shit. And Bardem says that she hates Carol Danvers so much that she decides the next fucking planet or resources she's gonna steal is gonna be from Earth.
By the way, Bardem is not the actor. That's the name of the fucking character.
That's the name of the bad guy, Tom Hiddleston's wife, the brown girl that's in this with the blonde hair and the hammer and shit. Strong woman, better than everybody, has powers. Nobody knows why. Bardem decides to go after another planet that they have a lot of water. And so then Brie Larson and these three girls go, and on the way, they get into a fight and shit. And little Kamala Khan fucks up because she's not a superhero. She's a little girl who's barely learning how to be a superhero. And Carol Danvers is an asshole because she's better than everybody. And she tells her off and says, "What the fuck? You're fucking up and shit." And the little girl feels bad. And the rest of the trip, the black girl's trying to tell Brie Larson she's a bitch because, hey, she's a little girl and you fucked up and you need to go apologize and be a mentor because she idolizes you and you don't even know, like, she doesn't know how to fight and shit.
Yeah.
And you're being a dick. And that's what the trip is until they all are on the same page because they all hate each other and shit. Because also the black girl hates Carol Danvers because Carol Danvers, when her mother died from cancer, remember, that's what happened in real life. Carol Danvers left Earth and didn't even come back and shit.
Yeah.
To see her friend die of cancer. Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And so then when they get there to this planet to go warn them that Bardem's coming, is gonna fucking take all the resources and your water and shit and destroy everything. It's the planet that Carol Danvers has already been in, and we see it in the trailer. And in that planet, the Asian guy that's there dancing with her is actually the king of that planet. And Carol Danvers had previously in the past adventures visited that planet and kind of dated and fucked the guy, even though she was one of those where she was experimenting because we all know she's a lesbian. She was experimenting and she had her first Asian dick because it was probably pretty small and that's the only thing she could take and enjoy. But
come on,
she married the guy and officially became the unofficial princess of the planet because the guy's the king. And so she left to become a superhero. And when she comes back right here, everybody worships her and they call her a queen and a princess. And here's the best part of the whole time. The entire time they're in this planet and they're trying to save everybody. And this guy that they're married because she's really the princess now on this planet. And Carol Danvers is a princess now on this planet. The whole time they sing and dance because the planet has some kind of musical properties that as soon as you land on it, you start singing. You do not talk and dancing. It's a musical from then on.
Okay, that seals it. That I'm not gonna watch
everything I just explained about that guy and the princess and everything, all of that is singing and dancing.
Like an Indian movie.
Basically.
Like a Hindi movie. Yeah.
So they're married. Let's keep going. They're married and all that shit. And what ends up happening is that they find out Bardem is gonna go after Earth, and so they go fucking to try to stop her. But when they get there, they're already there. The bad guys are there, and they're attacking the space station where Fury is, and the bad guys, and then the good guys in space, and that's where Kamala Khan's parents and family is in the space station being protected by Fury. And so then, while they're in the space station during the movie. They actually find some eggs. The family finds some eggs in the space station. They don't know what it is. And Fury's like aliens and shit. And and they're quarantined. And they're looking at the eggs throughout the whole movie. And the eggs finally hatch, Kike. And guess what? It's a bunch of kittens. It's a flurkins.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, and if you look at the trailer, there's actually like half a second where there's a bunch of kittens floating around in space.
Floating around.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of kitten flurkins. So the space station gets attacked by all these Bardem people and all these creepy soldiers and shit. And then Captain Marvel and Kamala Khan and Photon, they all attack Bardem. And even Carol Danvers goes Super Saiyan. She goes binary, she actually goes non-binary nowadays. And she goes like Super Saiyan to get superpowers, like transgender, non-binary, super lesbian powers. And she shines and is all bright and shit. And it's more powerful than everybody. No explanation. She's just better than everybody. Nobody taught her. And she was born that way. And then, like, what ends up fuck you, Kike. Let me finish the story. Don't be an asshole.
I mean, the movie doesn't really tell you that she was born that way. She was made that way.
It doesn't matter. Don't worry. That's the way it is.
And it wasn't Maybelline. Fuck you.
Fuck you, Kike. Anyways, they're trying, the space station getting attacked and it's gonna get destroyed and crash and explode and shit. And so they don't know what to do. And then Fury says, we only got a few escape pods. What do we do? And they come up with an idea and they say, well, we have all these motherfucking flurkins here. These like, we got the cat and all the kittens. Said, we are gonna have them swallow us, get in the escape pod because they're small and they fit in one escape pod together. And when we get down to Earth, they'll throw us up. And that's exactly what happens in the movie. All the cats and the kittens swallow up Nick Fury and all the Kamala Khan's family and all the good guys in the space station, all the people you're going to live and see forever. They swallow them up and escape in the escape pod down to Earth. And when they're down to Earth, the cats throw up all these people out.
Doesn't it sound like an episode of a show from maybe like Star Trek? Remember the Tribbles? Like what? This is like almost like a Star Trek fucking show. Like, oh, there's so many Tribbles, they're multiplying and shit. You know, like they're all over the fucking spaceship and shit. With a twist, they're kittens, but they can swallow us and save us.
What ends up happening at the very end is that Monica and Carol, they try to stop her and shit because the portals, the machine that she has that's bringing the atmosphere and water back to Hela. And by the way, they see that it's raining again in Hala, in the Kree world. And Carol even feels bad because she says, well, all these people as one is their planet, like to be revived. So in a way, like, they're really not bad guys, even though they are destroying other worlds to take resources back to their planet. Like, they just want to survive too. And so she's kind of struggling about it. But they say we still have to stop her. So they try to stop her, and they realize that these portals, because the portals open up and steal the resources and then transport it back to where their planet is. And they they're creating incursions, which is what Doctor Strange, they're trying to connect it now. What Doctor Strange talked about in his movie, in the Multiverse of Madness, even though they only went to one universe and shit. Try to explain about the incursions and that if you fuck around with shit and portals and dimensions and multiverses, then they can crash into each other. And that's what starts happening. And so they're trying to stop it from crashing and they don't know how to do. And so Monica Rambeau says, my powers, I can fly through the tear in the universe and I can fix it on the other side. And Carol's all like, well, just do it. And she goes through the other side to another universe and she fixes it. She fixed the tear, but through the other side. And so then Monica Rambeau Photon gets stuck in another universe. It doesn't say what universe it is, but she gets stuck somewhere else. But she saves the day. She saves everything from crashing.
He pulled up the pants on the butt crack.
Yeah. And then the end of credit scenes, like I said, Kamala Khan throughout the movie saw Nick Fury with an iPad that has every hero's database. She steals it. And then in it, she finds the address to where Kate Bishop is, little Hawkeye girl. She goes to talk to her and tells her all that happened in her movie and says, we should team up because we're little girls. Hey, did you know that Ant-Man has a daughter? We should go talk to her too. And that's how it ends. Young Avengers, young female teen Avengers. Only girls allowed.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's a good point too. Like, that's another thing that I was gonna address.
The whole thing is all girls allowed.
It's all girls. It's all girls.
This whole movie.
Which is there's nothing wrong with an all girl fucking cast, dude. And there's nothing wrong with the fucking bad guy as a girl, because if you remember, Thor Ragnarok had Kate Blanchett, bro, and she was amazing.
Yeah.
It was great. It was amazing. It was,
But it wasn't an all girl cast.
It wasn't. It was actually inclusive, like to everyone. You know, like male, female, everyone.
They're gonna be a failure, Kike.
Yeah, dude.
Even worse than the first Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah, and I know they mean good, but they're doing dumb things, dumb decisions like this. It's like, this is a revolution. We're gonna be all girls and shit. And it's like, look, you're hiring the wrong people here. You're wrong. You're hiring the wrong writers. The wrong
and you're paying them nothing to.
And
you're cutting corners. Who wants to work for $300 a month? Oh, this purple-haired fat motherfucker? Okay, hire him. Hey, if you like this type of raunchy comedy, how about giving us a like and subscribe to our channel? And if you want to listen to more nonsense, click on the link on the right to watch the full podcast. Stay safe and cheers, dudes.